Yeah. In your house with O'Connor. Hey, O'Connor, in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. We're some boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. Your house is a perfect distraction. Pop us in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Slow.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? The comment in your house. We here. We ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits, because I'm with the shits. And we're ready to talk a little wrestling. That is right. You already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And guys, that is exactly what I intend to do. And man, me and the voice, Josh Joseph. We gave y'all a really great episode on yesterday's episode of In Your House Live that we did, where we really circled and talked about the King of the Ring tournament. And we had a really cool watch along for the King of the Ring as we watched King of the Ring 1997, the finals between Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Mankind. And man, that brought back a lot of memories. It sure did. But we talk about King of the Ring, and here I am here giving you guys my solo shot. And, you know, honestly, with the King of the Ring tournament going on right now and the presentation of the King of the Ring tournament, gosh, it's been such a treat. I mean, giving y'all content has been such a treat. I mean, I've been to be frank with y'all, I've been an absolute pig in shit. I mean, that's just the facts, because I love tournament style competition, tournament based competition, and that's exactly what we're getting in the King of the Ring tournament. And it's not just slapped together, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually something that is well thought out, something that is well presented within the confines of the WWE, as I got my man The Voice in the chat right now. And yes, we did have a great show. The podcast version will be ready today. I'm going to be, the podcast listeners, for you podcast listeners, you're going to be getting a double drop because we didn't get a chance to give you guys some Sunday content. So not only are you going to get myself and The Voice, Josh Joseph's episode where we circled King of the Ring, you're also going to get my solo shot as well. So just letting you know, you got 2 episodes to listen to. One's going to be long. We really went around and around on this tournament, man. It was a really great episode. Really proud of that episode. But that one's going to be a lot longer. This one is probably going to be about a car trip to work, and that's what we like to do. We like to give you variety and give you guys different options here when it comes to the content that we're giving you in your house. But as far as what I do here on my solo shots, of course, I talk about Monday Night Raw, and that was exactly what we just had last night. And honestly, I got to be honest with you guys, as I usually am. The concept's always going to keep it real with you. It was another great episode, and it was another episode that really circled around the King of the Ring tournament. And one thing that I've noticed that WWE is doing with this tournament that I thoroughly enjoy myself is the fact that it seems like every single show is ending with the King of the Ring tournament match. Everything else seems everything. Not I don't want to say everything, but a lot of things are circling around this tournament. Like the way that this tournament has just everybody sucked into it, because there's stories within stories within stories in this tournament. And this is what a tournament can be if you present it the right way. If you present the tournament the right way, you're going to make stories. You're going to create something. You know, there's going to be narratives. Look at the NBA playoffs. Look at the NHL playoffs. Look at and we talked about this. Myself and The Voice talked about this. It's in such a way right now that you are seeing all these tournaments going on. Do I even have to bring up the NCAA basketball tournament, March Madness? I mean, come on, one of the greatest tournaments, if not the greatest tournament in all of sports. So, like, King of the Ring needs to be in that conversation. Tournaments are hot right now. And if you're doing a tournament, I implore you to make sure that you're investing in this tournament, because that's what the WWE is doing. And it's a copycat situation. You say it's a copycat league, it's a copycat league in professional wrestling. If the big dogs are doing it and it works, then guess what? It's going to be a trickle down effect. And you're gonna see it. It's gonna affect everything and everybody. Jason Eugene Cox, what's up, brother, man? Thanks for sliding through. If you got any thoughts or any questions, just put it in the chat. I'm just here talking a little bit of Monday Night Raw and King of the Ring. But yes, tournaments are hot right now. And I just feel like that if you have the opportunity to present those tournaments, they've got to be good. It's got to be good. You got to get invested in it. And because that's what WWE is doing, and that's what they're giving to you. So within this show, it was a really solid show. Even the things that weren't circling around that weren't circling around the tournament. Things is Drew McIntyre opening the show, and once again he's talking about CM Punk. Once again talking about Jey Uso, and this brings out Damian Priest. Now this promo here, I one thing I took notes. I was chilling in my favorite breakfast restaurant, and I was rewatching Monday Night Raw, and because I wanted to get fresh eyes on it, because I was tired last night, so I just wanted to pay closer attention to the things that that I maybe didn't see the first time. One thing I really noticed is that, man, Priest was sitting over there speaking pure facts into Drew McIntyre. You know, you're telling me, it's like, hey, you should have just left. Hey, I was going to cash in on Seth Rollins, but guess what? You kept stopping me. So guess what? I did what I did. And it's like, yo, he's like, honestly, I didn't hear Damian Priest say one lie. I really didn't. And he's really improved on the mic. I can harken back within like just the last couple of years. There's been times where Damian Priest has stumbled on the mic or said the wrong line or something, or said the wrong pay-per-view or PLE, and these are all things that have happened. But this was just so clean. It seems like he's more comfortable with how he's talking, and man, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, it was a great start to the show. And I really think that it really set the pace for what this show was going to be. You have Drew McIntyre, who's a heavy hitter. You have Damian Priest, the world heavyweight champion. He's a heavy hitter. So of course, it's gonna be great. So this was a night where we saw the quarterfinals of the King and Queen of the Ring Tournament. And I was talking in the group chat, and we were kind of going back and forth. I was saying, man, was there a bad match in this like night? Like, there wasn't. Like, I don't think there was. Like, even the match that I thought was going to be like, it's probably going to be a little quick one and done, ended up being really good. So once again, there was many things that happened throughout the show that had things to do with the Queen of the Ring Tournament, King of the Ring Tournament, and didn't. You know, you have Carlito trying to make a pitch for the Judgment Day. He wants to get in the Judgment Day now. What is Dominic Mysterio doing? He's injured. We know that. But he's doing, like, he's cutting all these deals and trying to bring in all these peeps into the Judgment Day. It just makes me think, I don't know. I don't like the way Dom's moving right now, because he's just doing what he want to do, and you ain't rolling with the crew. You know, you're not rolling with the crew. So it's like, I got my eyes on you, Dominic Mysterio. I got my eyes on you. All right. I think everybody should have their eyes on Dominic Mysterio, especially when he comes back from injury and what he might do next. But man, I don't know where the placement of Carlito can be in Judgment Day. Is he gonna start coming out wearing all black? Is he gonna get some eyeliner and stuff? Because that's what they've been, is like a, you know, an emo stable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but you know, either way, I'm just happy to see Carlito back on TV. And we was wondering when he returned to the company what they were doing with him, because it was just like, all right, you're in the LWO, and then boom, he was not on TV for a long time, and now boom, he's back on TV. And you know, he turned on Rey, which everybody loves to turn on Rey Mysterio. I'm not sure if it was Hype who put it in the chat, but it was just like a list of the times that Rey Mysterio has been betrayed. Rey Mysterio, bad friend? I don't know. There's I don't know. The stats are out. The stats are out, Joe. I don't know. Rey Mysterio might be a bad friend, but you know, he's trying to get into the stable. Him being Carlito, trying to get into Judgment Day. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what goes on with that. He did help them win later on in the night, them being the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough, as they defeated the Authors of Pain, the Creed Brothers, and New Catch Republic in a fatal four-way number one contenders match for the WWE World Tag Team Championships, which is just great. Like, this show really felt like there was a lot happening in this show. A lot of matches. with a good, good spots for little storytelling here and there. It was really, really paced really well, and it was wrestling heavy as it needed to be because it is a tournament, and because we're focusing on the tournament, it should be match heavy. That's what I'm loving about it, to be honest with you. So yeah, man. I don't know what's gonna happen as far as this goes, but I do know the matches was great. Every match, every tournament match was competitive. I was loving how Michael Cole was bringing up the Stardom match that Shayna Baszler and Io Sky has had during the Queen of the Ring tournament match that they were having. And it was a good match that saw Io Sky advance. Most definitely. Yes, yes, it is. Damian Priest is going to have a big year. I can feel it. He's really starting to find himself, and I dig it. So I agree with you there, voice. Yes, man. I just feel like that Cole was in his bag in commentary all night. I really am enjoying his work more and more as I'm, doing more commentary work for Emerge Wrestling. So I'm paying closer attention to that stuff. And he's just magnificent. And listen, some people think that, Pat McAfee's over the top. I think when you have that element, and yeah, maybe Pat does need to tone it down a little bit. I was hearing some things there where I was like, all right, can we just move on to the next thing? Like I think he was still doing the barking. Yes, that's what it was. It was the barking. I was trying to think there for Braun Breaker, and it was during when the next entrant had came out, and the next entrant I believe was Laya Valkyria, which I got a lot of thoughts on her. I'm going to get to her. And I was like, all right, let's put the focus on the person who's coming out to the ring. You've barked for like 2 minutes. So, like I love Pat McAfee, but I was just like, come on, bro. But anyway, like I'm saying there, bro, like it's a great tournament that I really enjoyed. Like I said, Cole's in his bag during a great match that Shayna Baszler and Io Sky had. And once again, Io advances, and man, it was crazy because I really thought that Shayna would have had a good shot. I think that myself, voice, and even P were talking about the chances of Shayna Baszler. She was definitely heavily favored in this tournament amongst Team In Your House, amongst the squad here, and man, just didn't make it past the quarterfinals. So kind of upsetting, but moves on. She does, and you see it here. And I wanna get back. I still have, like, we just did this episode yesterday, and here I am talking about the tournament again. I have the exact same bracket in front of me that I had yesterday with the voice Josh Joseph. And man, I guess I'll just go down this line here real quick for these matches. So uh, it was Lyra Valkyria versus Zoe Stark, which we had a lot of high praise for Zoe Stark. Not a lot of high praise from the Team In Your House for Lyra Valkyria. There just wasn't. There was a lot of hype around Zoe Stark and around our way here, but Zoe Stark fell short. And now that I'm getting a good eye on Lyra Valkyria, I see something there. I see something. And I think she's really great. She's a really great wrestler. I like her finisher, the Nightwing. I like the way she speaks in kind of like riddles, I like that. But she says it with conviction, and I like it. And I like her energy. And she's a protege of Becky Lynch, from around the same area. She's quickly growing on me, and I'm digging the whole thing that the crowd did. I didn't hear them do that before. Is this the first time? If somebody heard it when she was doing her entrance, when her entrance music was on the air, like dun 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 woo dun 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 woo dun 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 woo 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 dun dun dun, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a thing. That's a thing they need to keep doing every single week. And she's like, you just keep. She's solid. Lyra Valkyria is solid. I'm gonna say it right now. We all want to talk about Tiffany Stratton for a good reason. Tiffany Stratton is somebody that you should be talking about. But I'm gonna say it right now that Tiffany Stratton's Raw counterpart is Lyra Valkyria. That was so cool. So cool. So most definitely, I am now a fan of Lyra Valkyria. Oh, Bryce York comes in here. I didn't know Lyra had a crowd chant. I don't know much about her, but the wrestling was good. He also said he was not sure about the promo as well. I think that the promo was what it was. And once again, I think that but I see the foundation though, bro. I see where she had that conviction and where she was trying to go with the things she was saying. I think she's just going to grow from there. So yeah, definitely there's still some work to be done there, but definitely a solid foundation where she can grow as a promo. Already solid as a wrestler, already has built some prestige behind herself as being a former NXT Women's Champion. So, and now we're going to see her go a little bit deeper in this tournament, and that's going to put Lyra Valkyria going up against Io Sky next week in the semifinals for Monday Night Raw. Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria. I'm sure that us here at In Your House are going to discuss that and break that down a little bit more. So that's most definitely going to be interesting. But I want to get to the men's side of things here in the quarterfinals. And that saw Gunther going up against Kofi Kingston. And, I believe that I owe Kofi Kingston an apology. I do, because I thought this was not going to go how it went. And yes, Gunther won. But man, did they put on a match. Man, can Kofi Kingston still go? I have to apologize to Kofi Kingston. I do. Because I was saying, I believe I said it on this show, and I believe I said it to my son as well, that Kofi Kingston is giving Twilight Year vibes in his career. And I felt that way for quite a few months. But Kofi Kingston, I owe you an apology, because and it was a hell of an effort that saw Gunther moving on in this match. Just a great match. I mean, there was, I think in the, I believe it was in the In Your House chat, there was some point there was a backbreaker in this match, because Gunther was like really selling his knee, and it was just a sickening tilt-a-whirl backbreaker onto that injured knee, and the crack. I mean, the twerk on Kofi Kingston's back, it just looked sickening. But man, what a match. What an incredible match. I mean, this is what the King of the Ring tournament can be when it means something, ladies and gentlemen. And right now, if you're asking me, and if you guys feel the same way, let me know. Let me know in the chat there if you feel the same way. But the way that I feel is, man, right now this King of the Ring tournament is meaning a hell of a lot. And we got to make sure that while we're doing this, there is an end game. This is something we've been driving it home here at In Your House, that there has to be an end game. Okay? You can't have a tournament be this incredible and amazing and it lead to absolutely nothing. Why? For what? Obviously, the person who wins this tournament, the male and female who win this tournament, are going to move on and hopefully do bigger and better things because of their performance in this tournament. So, it's just something to think about. I once again enjoying this tournament. It's been great. So moving right along to the next match here, we had Ilya Dragunov versus Jey Uso. Jey Uso wasn't originally in this. Jey Uso was the replacement for Drew McIntyre, who's injured and not cleared to compete. So Jey Uso moved on, defeating Finn Balor. Now we faced Ilya Dragunov. And this was the main event. I know I'm feel like I'm everywhere. It just is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. This was the main event. What a main event it was. It was great. Ilya Dragunov It's crazy to think he really hasn't been on the main roster that long. He's already main eventing Monday Night Raw. The way we're putting everybody in the mix here, it's great. I mean, it's a great vibe. I'm enjoying what we're seeing here with the way that talents are being presented. It's just great to see, and the way they're being integrated in, and the way that we're weaving things in and out of this tournament right now. And they don't have a lot of time to do this, folks. They've planned this out so perfectly to where the finals are going to be, obviously, at the King of the Ring PLE in Saudi Arabia, another uh, afternoon PLE here in the States. And I love it. We might just go ahead and do a post show like we did for the last show for Backlash. We might do another one of those shortly after, just because I love these shows. And I'm hearing they're taking away Saturday PLEs. What? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that. But right now, I got to stay with the King of the Ring here and talk about Jay Uso and Ilya Dragunov. But leave my Saturday PLEs alone. All right. All right. But yeah, this match was great. We got Bryce Yorkie saying he's not sure about the tourney layout. Is this not leading to a bloodline final? Well, that is an interesting thought, because the thing about it is you are absolutely right. We could be looking at a bloodline final, and we got to see where it goes. Let's revisit that after the semifinals. How about that? We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll definitely revisit that. And yes, Saturday PLE's got to stay, man. Don't take my listen. You're gonna get me into a whole diatribe here. I don't want to get into it. All right. So, yeah, but this match was good. It was a great match that saw Jey Uso moving on. And one thing that I put in my notes here, I bet you Jey Uso won't wear earrings while wrestling Dragunov anymore. Yeah, he was bleeding from the ear there, man. But this spoke to the physicality that happened in this match, and it was a physical match between Dragunov and main event Jey Uso. Uso keeping those fireflies. He said it. He's standing on it. And I mean, honestly, it's a great visual. It really is a great visual for entrance. It's crazy. And look, this is France, bro. This is international professional wrestling that is trickling over to the States. Now we got to stand on it. That's what I'm loving about these international shows. They're going over there, them being the WWE, they're going over there, and they're putting on these incredible, amazing shows because these crowds are responding, and they're responding in a way that's making the show even bigger. And now it's up to us to try to give that same energy if we can. We're spoiled. We get wrestling all the time. Where were they at? Greenville? I believe it was Greenville, South Carolina. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I could definitely be wrong. But hell, they was popping last night. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. That's definitely a place that if they would have been going there about what, like before COVID, maybe a few years before COVID, they definitely would have been sitting on their hands. They definitely would have been on their phones. They definitely wouldn't have been invested, you know? So like, it's great that we're seeing this, like crowds got to have a little bit of pride about them, I believe. And I think that's what you're seeing with the international crowds. There's some pride there. And I feel like that we got to have that pride too. We don't have that pride because just like, listen, I could throw a rock. I could throw a rock in my backyard and hit at least 2 wrestling promotions, and that's facts. So we just gotta have it, bro. We just gotta have it. So yeah, that's just how I feel about it. You know, that's just how I feel about it. This was a great show, man. And you had Gunther who came through and stood on business with Jey Uso, getting ready and prepping for their match next week. It's gonna be Gunther versus Jey Uso. Me and Voice talked a little bit about this. That if it came to this, that Jey Uso has what it takes to beat Gunther clean. Well, if he can, he's pinned Roman Reigns. He can pin Gunther. So now we have that that's popping up there. So we got Gunther and Jey Uso. Who you guys think? If you guys are there in the chat, who you guys got? And Bryce York. Yeah, our crowds here aren't hitting like they supposed to. Even Mania, maybe because we were in a stadium, but chanting was all over the place. Yeah, man. I mean, it's like you said, we got to have a pride about us, I believe. And yeah, we're just there's got to be and these international crowds are challenging us. My man Hype said on this show, he's like he wants to go to a WrestleMania, and I know that's one of his goals for sure. But another one of his goals is to get overseas and go to a WWE event overseas, and be a part of one of those crowds. I agreed with him, so it's great. You believe that Jay is going to beat Ilya, and Ilya beat Gunther too. So Jay loses by Jimmy interference. Okay, so you think we're finally going to get the return of Jimmy after he was pretty much kicked out the crew. He was beating out the crew from the bloodline, and we haven't seen him since. So yeah, he could pop up. Who knows? It's definitely a possibility for sure. On the women's side of things, we have Io Sky going up against Lyra Valkyria. That's wow. Uh, Io Sky still going. I mean, even after her women's championship run, she's just off right into another good direction again. What they're doing with Io Sky and Damage Control is really good. I already really gushed about Dakota Kai's command of the mic last week on Monday Night Raw. Now she was in a match herself against Becky Lynch, and I love the viciousness that you see from Dakota Kai. She didn't win, but still, I'm happy to see her back from injury, and doing things, getting back in that ring and making a splash here. And it was, and she, Becky Lynch defeated Dakota Kai. It was disqualification. Damage Control got involved and whatnot, and Liv Morgan is doing everything that she's doing. Liv Morgan she's definitely she's making it work. This Liv Morgan revenge tour is the pettiness, the bitchiness. I love it. It's working great for her. I'm saying she could win the title with King of the Ring. She could. That could be something that happens. I do believe it. But Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria, man, wow. Okay, so I damn. Lyra Valkyria. I'm gonna ride this Lyra Valkyria train. I'm gonna stay with who I think. I think she has great momentum, and I think she can go far in this tournament. Lyra Valkyria, I think, is gonna pick up the victory over Io Sky and move on to the finals. I believe it is. So yeah. Oh wow, it'll be the finals. Can I? Geez, and I said Jade Cargill's gonna win this whole thing. So that means, oh God, I've already set up my finals. I have. So it's Lyra Valkyria against Jade Cargill in the finals. Is that what I'm saying? I I don't know about that, but that's who I think. Man, I didn't mess myself up, y'all. I didn't mess myself up. All right. So, okay. So I'm standing on it. All right, cool. Lyra Valkyria, Jade Cargill in the finals. Whatever. Whatever may be, may be. It's, que sera, sera. All right. So I got that. This was, once again, good show. And everything was hard hitting. The only thing in this show that wasn't hard hitting was that punch from Becky Lynch to Liv Morgan. What was that little, what was that? And then, Liv had to sell it and whatnot. And I was just like, how come you didn't punch through like you did with Dom? You punched through with Dom. I don't know. She definitely pulled that punch. That was definitely pulled. But I don't know. If you're going to do it, after you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. You gotta do it, because it's like That's the moment that's gonna make everything, because like everything else felt like it's like, oh, it's like, oh, did you ever tell her that she's a bitch? And there's like, well, why don't you tell her yourself? And then it's like, cling. How about you say it to my face, bitch? Like, come on, bro. Like, you can't be like, cling. You gotta be like, bam. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. You got to make that impact. You know, you punch through with Dom. You got to punch through with Liv too. So, so I don't know, bro. But once again, this was a good show. And once again, I thought everything was pretty well. Yeah, man. If you was gonna do slap, use the slap. If you're not sure about it, use the slap. But but you know, Sami Zayn defeated Otis, and I'm glad I got back to this. Yeah, I almost forgot the story of Gable. I can't forget about the great story of Gable. My God, he's being so hard on his troops here, man. And I think he's pushing them out. He's definitely pushing them out. And we want to talk about slaps. Oh boy. Oh boy. We talk about slaps. That was actually a great segue, Bryce York, for the slap that happened to Otis after his match where Sami Zayn defeated him. And man, he, dang. And then the look on Otis's face is most definitely good. Is it a meme yet? Is it? Because I haven't seen it yet. I haven't really been on social media. Like, is there a meme yet? He looked so pathetic and sad. Like, even in my heart, I was like, oh, like my lip was quivering, bro. I was like, poor, poor Otis. No, don't slap Otis. Why would you? It was crazy, bro. I just like there's definitely something. There's definitely something happening with Gable. You know, he is just verbally abusing Maxine Dupree. Uh, leave Maxine alone. Leave her alone. Like, come on. Like, it's crazy the way he's just like, he's like, don't you do that, worm. Why don't you go out there and win for once, talking to Tozawa, and don't you do that stupid dance? And I'm like, oh, you taking everything away to make him special. Chad Gable, you mean. You mean, Chad Gable. Uh, but yeah, man, it's Chad Gable is mean. But yeah, the story of Chad Gable, yeah, we're definitely going to see this. I definitely hope this is transitioning. It looked like he was doing a little bit of recruiting there for sure. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that he was doing maybe possibly a little recruiting there with Ivy Nile, maybe. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. It's and you got to ask yourself could she be a part of this bigger deal with the Creed brothers and Gable? We're slow burning to it. It's a slow burn we're getting to. I'm here for it. Bryce, it's a good thought. If they break up, what happens to those three? Whew. I mean, maybe they click together for a while, then gradually, slowly break off and go their own separate ways. Maybe Maxine goes back to NXT. Maybe they go back to NXT as a stable. I think they've been there before. I'm just trying to think, man, because it's a good question. They've been at NXT without Gable before in like the last month or so. So maybe they do that and then gradually break them off. And I don't feel like Maxine is really where they want her to be at as far as her ability. And I think that going back to NXT could really help her a lot. So yeah, maybe that. Maybe that. That's what I think as far as that goes. But man, I'm loving it, man. A lot of things going on. You know, like I said, Bronson Reed is defeating Akira Tozawa. You got Carlito trying to weasel his way into the Judgment Day. Drew McIntyre once again blaming everybody but himself. The King of the Ring tournament continues. Liv Morgan is doing her thing, trying to complete this revenge tour. by beating Becky Lynch for the women's championship. A lot of moving parts, guys, and I was happy to come here and talk about that with you guys. But guys, now it's that time. It is that time for me to slide on out of here and call this a really great episode. And before I do, of course, I got to talk about all the things I got going on. Of course, I'm going to be having this episode here available on the podcast version. I just gave you all about 45 minutes of work here talking about Monday Night Raw. And I thought it was a really good episode. King of Ring Tournament, fun, love it, love covering it. It's been so amazing to cover. But yeah, we're going to continue to do it as the weeks come on. Myself and the voice Josh Joseph, Hypocrisy Jones, and Paragon. So we're going to keep moving, keep grooving here. And this is not the only tournament that you're going to catch. If you're here locally in Indiana, and if you're a wrestling fan here in Indiana, you've had to have heard about Emerge Wrestling in Columbus, Indiana. We just had a great show, Emerge 78, whatever may come, that saw a lot of great moments and matches that came out of it. But now we move forward, and I'm somebody, when I do commentary for Emerge Wrestling, I talk a lot about opportunity, and I'm very excited for many reasons for this next show on June 1st, which is the Emerging Stars Tournament, Emerge 79, and this is the Steve Branham Memorial Emerging Stars Tournament. And it's going to be really great because not only is it tournament style competition in the season of tournament style competition amongst all sports, including professional wrestling, it's great opportunity for faces that have never been seen on the Emerge level, that are going to be able to come in and make an impact and show that they can rock and roll at Emerge Wrestling, that they can spit that real rap at Emerge Wrestling. And we've already got 2 participants announced, one of them being Idris Wolf, and the other one being Mr. by the Book, Gaston LaRue. So that's going to be great. Already 2 great participants who are heating up in the Midwestern professional wrestling scene, that's looking to continue to blaze a trail and continue their legacy, but on the Emerge Wrestling level. So guys, that's June 1st. That is Emerge 79, the Steve Branham Memorial Emerging Stars Tournament, where opportunity has risen. Can you take advantage? So once again, guys, my name is Alakan, the Concept House. You can catch me at Alakan House across those social media platforms. That's IG, that's X, and on Facebook. And then, of course, you can follow this podcast here at In Your House Pod. That's on X, In Your House Podcast on Facebook. And guys, that's HOWSC, and the W stands for work. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alakan, the Concept House, for Hypocrisy Jones, for the voice, Josh Joseph, for the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.